We got a new microphone, baby. 2 videos in the span of a couple days. I think that's a new record. Can we get a round of applause for that? Congratulations, me. You uploaded kind of consistently. I remember in my best of 2018 video, I said that 2018 was a really good year for movies. Now, looking back on that retrospectively, it kind of wasn't. Don't get me wrong, we got some good stuff, but not a ton of it. Not a ton that are probably going to end up on my best of the decade video, which I may or may not make. But 2019, however, is a whole different beast. 2019 was one of the best years for films ever, I think. Although it was a really crappy year for video games. I mean, I love Resident Evil 2 Remake like a son. Sekiro was great. I personally prefer Dark Souls 3. Jedi Fallen Order was surprisingly great. Devil May Cry 5 was awesome and is my new favorite in the series. Borderlands 3 was a lot of fun. Death Stranding is a video game. Nintendo didn't come out with a whole lot of stuff this year. It's kind of like a strange reverse thing. 2018 wasn't a great year for movies, but it was a pretty good year for video games. 2019 is a great year for movies, but a very weak year for video games. Go figure. We're getting off topic here. This is I review cinema, not I review, I don't know, video games. Couldn't condense this list to just 10 movies I saw last year, so I'm making it 12 movies because I love all of these movies. They all got perfect grades from me, and they probably are right now on my favorite movies of the last decade. So, let's just get started with number 12. 1917 it's a marvel. It's really amazing how Sam Mendes and Roger Deakins were able to pull this off, tell a very grounded and personal World War I story, making it all look like it was one continuous take. And Roger Deakins, you earned that Oscar. It was the movie looked absolutely phenomenal, and it may not be much different from other war films because of its similarities and how the thing that makes it the most different is how it's filmed, but I think there's still some merit to how this film was made because it feels very personal. Shooting it in one long continuous take makes you feel like you're with the main character and following them on their journey, and I think that aspect of it gives it more artistic merit to differentiate it from other war films. So if you haven't seen 1917, please check it out. I'm a rocket man. Bohemian Rhapsody went breaking my heart, but Rocket Man couldn't if it tried. See what I did there? Taron Egerton blew me away in this movie. He is so good as Elton John, and he does his own singing, and his singing voice is just, it's just, mwah. Jamie Bell is also really good as Bernie Taupin in this movie. This musical sequences in this movie, man, it's like, it is like La La Land. A movie that feels like it is grounded in reality, but also has a fantasy element to it in the form of musical numbers. It touches on the highs and lows of Elton John's career in a way that I wish Bohemian Rhapsody did for Freddie Mercury, and I think all of that is levitated by its musical numbers. I wish more biopics could embrace the fantasy-esque element of a rock star's life or a famous person's life, in the same way that one of my favorite movies, Ed Wood, kind of did. And look at these costumes. The fact that this didn't get a nomination for Best Costume Design and fricking Maleficent 2 did Honestly, just I just have so much hatred in my heart for the Academy. I love Hereditary like an unhealthy amount. So you better believe that I would be hyped for anything that Ari Aster did next. And this movie... Good God. I usually don't say this about a ton of horror movies, but this horror movie is really not for the faint of heart at all. There are so many points in this movie where you will question yourself like, dang, I really feel like I shouldn't be watching this. This feels like a movie that's not meant for human eyes. This movie also tackles relationships, but instead of family relationships, it's the relationship between a boyfriend and a girlfriend who are starting to feel very distant from each other. So they go on this crazy, nice vacation to Sweden where they encounter a sacrificial sex cult that wants to indoctrinate Florence Pugh's character. The perfect family movie. Florence Pugh is fantastic. The rest of the cast is great. The cinematography is excellent. I wish the Academy didn't have such a huge bias against horror movies, because this movie, without a doubt, deserved Best Cinematography nomination. I've said before, horror movies don't really scare me nowadays, but this movie, I think, joins that very small list of horror movies that actually get to me. So good job, Ari. I look forward to seeing what you do next. It has every single mystery movie cliche in the book, but the way it utilizes it is what makes it so great. The entire cast is fantastic, especially Ana de Armas. It's well shot, it's funny, the mystery is surprisingly engaging, and it also has commentary on privilege and self-made Americans, which really took me off guard there. But unfortunately, it's directed by Ruin Johnson, so unfortunately, I have to give it a 1 out of 5. I'm sorry, but Ryan, you made The Last Jedi. I can't forgive you for that, so this movie is bad. Don't try to argue with me. This movie is so wildly different from Tarantino's other movies, and I kind of love it for that. The Adam Sandler movie was better than the Star Wars movie. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached that moment in time. Good Time is one of my favorite movies of all time, so obviously anything that Josh and Benny Safdie were going to do, I was going to be excited for. And while I don't think this is as good as Good Time personally, it excels at Adam Sandler's performance, the way it's filmed, its music, and its overbearing, nerve-shattering, awkward, and uncomfortable tension that follows you for the entire runtime. I always thought Adam Sandler's best performance was in Punch Drunk Love, but I think this might be my new favorite. It's just so wildly different from anything Adam has ever done, and it's kind of amazing. It's out on Blu-ray and digital now, so catch it if you can. And also, Adam, Sandman, Adam, buddy, listen, please keep making good movies like these. Noah Baumbach, man, you managed to both break my heart and repair it and then comfortably reassure it all in the same movie. Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver are fantastic in this movie. It's well shot, it's very well written, and this might actually be my favorite screenplay of 2019. When this movie was blowing up on Twitter, I was a little hesitant towards it because everybody kept sharing that argument scene, and I was like, yes, it's very well acted, but I don't think I want to watch a movie about a divorced couple arguing the whole time. And I didn't get that. Surprisingly, there's very little arguing in this. It's just two people trying to figure out this new situation they're in, and when it leads up to that big argument scene, it hits way harder, and it's very effective in that way. It's a Netflix movie. Watch it if you can, but be sure to bring the tissues. Lulu Wang brings something very personal to The Farewell. It's a movie about West versus the East. It's about family relationships, spending time with your loved ones while they're still here, and it does it very well. I'm also very impressed on its PG rating. It manages to keep a PG rating, but not feel completely like a family movie without making it inaccessible to a younger audience. It's funny, it's heartwarming, it's touching. Awkwafina is excellent, and Nai, God bless her. Jojo Rabbit is a coming-of-age story, and it is a great one at that. Roman Griffin Davis is so good in this movie. Taika Waititi's direction, his performance is also amazing. It's very funny and surprisingly very heartfelt, and I was not expecting that from this movie. Jojo Rabbit is a great crowd pleaser, and it's also brave enough to talk about love overcoming hate, and I love it for that. Marty, you still haven't lost it, because you still know how to make a great mobster movie. Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Al Pacino give some of the best performances they've given in their entire careers. The visual effects, the de-aging effects are really good. Take a little getting used to, but they're still really great. I will say an issue that I had is that I think there are some scenes where you could use a younger body double in place of the actual actors. If you've seen the movie, you know what scene I'm talking about. The movie is very different from Goodfellas because this deals with the aftermath of all the excess of being a gangster, growing older, and regretting the choices that you've made in life, and if any of them were worth it. And it's very powerful. And the last 90 minutes of this movie take those themes and just run with them all the way as far as they can go, and it's sensational. If this is the true cinema that Marty was talking about, more of this, please. I loved Memories of Murder, I loved Snowpiercer, I loved The Host, so obviously Bong Joon-ho making another movie and in Korean again for the first time in years, yes, I will be excited for that. And what we get is one of the most suspenseful, funny, and emotionally charged movies of last year, and probably one of my new favorite movies of all time. And you know what? It's a masterpiece. Words cannot describe how happy I was when I saw this movie win Best Picture. Oh my god, Parasite. Parasite.
And the Oscar goes to
Parasite.
Parasite.
Yes! It's the first time in a long time I really felt super ecstatic and satisfied when they read who the Best Picture Oscar went to. Best Picture, well deserved. Thank you, Bong. I can't wait to see what you do next.
Oh, yeah. Damn. Damn, boy. Damn, boy!
This is it. This is a movie. This is a freaking movie. It is H.P. Lovecraftian, Kubrickian, and I don't know how to describe why I think this movie is the greatest thing to ever. Robert Eggers' direction is perfect. The cinematography is excellent. Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson are phenomenal in this movie. Willem Dafoe especially. He is super good in this movie. And it is so open to interpretation in so many different ways, to where you could watch this movie with a couple of your friends and you will come out of it with your own different interpretations of what it all means. And movies that make me ask questions like that are usually the ones that I end up talking about and remembering the most. I love this movie so much, it's become an inside joke with my friends. I can't tell you how many times we'll just say, "You're fond of me lobster, ain't you?" And we'll just laugh. This movie, it's funny, it's well acted, it's well written, it's well shot, it is open to interpretation in many ways. It's just, I love it. I think it's a masterpiece, and that's why it's my favorite movie of 2019. And it was snubbed hard at the Oscars. That's the end of the video. I thought this would be fun, but truth be told, I'm actually really tired and hungry, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. I hope you all check out the movies that were on my list and let me know if there's anything I missed. I know Portrait of a Lady on Fire is something that I haven't gotten to see yet, and carrots.